If you're one of the many of us who are interested in handing the faith on to the next generation, chances are you've been stumped by some pretty tough questions from children, such as, who created God? What is heaven like? Or why did God create the world? Maybe you've wondered about these questions yourself. But if you're like most, you probably thought, these questions are just beyond our understanding, and certainly beyond what children can grasp. But great thinkers of the Christian tradition, such as St. Thomas Aquinas, grappled with these very questions. After years of study and teaching, I've worked to simplify these issues for lay adults and the children that they work with. I've come out with a book, Who Created God? A teacher's guidebook for answering children's tough questions about God. In my book, I've done a lot of the footwork for you to make it easier. So I think it's time to go deeper and to show children and young people that our faith really is reasonable. My hope is that someday when their faith is challenged, they will remember that faith and reason really do go hand in hand. I've even had my book reviewed by educators, theologians, philosophers, and catechists. It's easy to find your way around the book because of a detailed table of contents and titles at the top of the pages. The chapters address questions from real children from classes that I've taught. Questions like these. Does God really exist? Why did God create the world? Was he lonely? Who created God? What does God look like? How big is God, and where is he? How does God rule creation? If God created everything, did God create evil? What is heaven like? Aren't humans just monkeys with bigger brains? Did Jesus create the world? If something is wrong in one culture, could it be right in another culture? Wouldn't you love to be able to answer those questions? Well, this book will help you do that. The Kindle version is also very easy to navigate with a clickable table of contents at 2 levels, and also links to the glossary and also references within the book. Yes, I said glossary. Any possible unfamiliar terms are defined in the back of the book, and in the Kindle version, you can click directly on the term to get to the glossary. Every question begins with a background for the catechist, briefly discussing the issue in adult layman's terms. This is followed by a reflection for the catechist, just some basic review questions for understanding before going ahead into lesson planning. Like St. Thomas Aquinas, I've grounded my answers in Scripture and also in the basic structure of his Summa Theologica. In my lesson plan section, I start out with the key concept, followed by some presentation ideas. These often involve concrete activities to introduce the children to deeper truths. This is followed by review for the students. Each question is followed by either a prayer service or a meditation to get the students to integrate this into their life of prayer. So please check out my book, Who Created God? A teacher's guidebook for answering children's tough questions about God. I believe it's nicely laid out and illustrated. I think that you'll really enjoy it, whether you work with children, whether you're a parent, an uncle, an aunt, a homeschool teacher, someone who works in a catechism classroom, or even just someone who still has the gift of wonder like St. Thomas Aquinas and just wants to know. For more information and for links for purchasing the book in either softcover or Kindle, visit www.voxclamans.com.